Prime Minister and the President spoke today. I also spoke with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, a bit earlier at noon today, and the Minister of Finance, Dominique Leblanc, and the Secretary of Commerce in the U.S., Howard Lutnick, spoke together. Now, we will make sure that we continue to defend Canadians' interests in the context of this unjustifiable trade war that was launched by the U.S. And also we'll make sure that we will never negotiate against ourselves. And so we will be there to stand strong. And it's not true that we will go through this psychodrama every 30 days. So our goal is to make sure that we're having conversations to bring back much more certainty.
Donald Trump et Justin Trudeau se sont parlé. Vous avez parlé à votre homologue.
Trump and Trudeau spoke, and you spoke with your counterpart as well. So once again, what do you think that he's calling Trudeau again, Governor Trudeau? And now they're referring to each other with their first names. So we understand that these are difficult conversations.
Les conversations sont constructives, mais il y a...
The conversations are constructive,
des émotions liées au fait qu'elles sont
but of course,
ces tarifs-là sont complètement injustifiés.
We have to remain without emotion. These are unjustified tariffs. Canada is seeking to reject the imposition of these tariffs, and we know that these are not necessarily related to border issues. We have to remember that the President, his powers are based on imposing these tariffs, and he has not demonstrated that there's a national security issue at the border. Therefore, based on that, we believe that we need to continue to strengthen the border and work together to save lives related to the scourge of fentanyl. But fundamentally, what we think that the President wants is much bigger than the issue of fentanyl. His goal is to weaken us, and once he has done that, and then, de facto, he thinks he could annex us. He said that in the past. So, based on that, our goal, therefore, is to find diplomatic solutions. And as the head of our diplomatic efforts, I will continue to do that. So, our eyes are wide open.
Of course, there are frustrations that we have because of the fact that we think that these tariffs are completely unjustified and unjustifiable. These tariffs stem from a presidential executive order linked to the fact that there's a national security crisis at the border linked to fentanyl. And we know that this is a bogus argument. This is not true, particularly when it comes to the northern border. So, based on that, we will continue, of course, to engage on the border, make sure that we can save lives against fentanyl and the scourge of fentanyl. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we stand strong and we'll never negotiate against ourselves. And I've said that many times, and I'll continue to say that. And as Canada's top diplomat, my job is, of course, to find a solution that is anchored in principles and diplomacy. But we need to make sure that there's more trust and much more predictability coming from the other side.
How do you negotiate with an administration whose position changes by the day?
But that's been a challenge. So the fact that the goalpost seems to change many times and that many other issues that are not linked to trade have been put on the table is definitely a challenge. And so that's why when we negotiate, we're not only looking at the issue of the border, we're not only looking at the issue of trade, we want to make sure that we bring back things much more into a box where we ultimately can be in a much more stable relationship. There's too much unpredictability and chaos coming out of the White House right now.